7 years ago. I was around like 12, 13. So none of this is like current at all. And I do have a current boyfriend, so this also has nothing to do with him. It is not related to him at all. These are like people that I have no contact with at all anymore. So anyways, so this is just gonna be like basically my middle school relationships, and like certain like kind of like a story time, I guess. But I'm gonna be talking about multiple of them. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy today's video, and let's just get started. So, okay, starting off, so the first person or situation, relationship, I don't know. Anyways, the first relationship that I want to be talking about started off in 6th grade. So this was my first boyfriend ever. So I'm gonna start off by just like kind of doing like a quick, like, not summary, I don't know what you would call it, maybe it is a summary, whatever. I'm just gonna go like quickly over how we like first started talking. So oh wait, first let me just say, this guy basically was like known as like the popular kid. He was basically like one of the popular kids, and he was kind of like a class clown. Like, he was like well known by like pretty much like everyone. Like, he was friends with like girls, guys, like everybody, and like the teachers. He was like popular with the teachers, I guess, because he was like a class clown. So, you know. Anyways, so basically, so one day, like, this is just like a random day, okay? So I ended up going up to him like one of these days, okay? And I basically, like, I asked him a question, and we started like talking, basically, and like having a conversation or whatever. And we were like, I don't know, we were like talking about something, and we were like laughing about something, right? So after that, we kind of just like ended that conversation and just kind of like left that alone. So that was in like the beginning of like the day. It was like earlier in the school day. So after that, so guys, back in middle school, everything happened so quickly. Like, stuff that would take a long time now, like in young adult years or adult years in general, happened so fast in middle school. So basically, I'm not even joking, guys, towards like the end of the school day, people kept coming up to me and they were like, this person is going to ask you out, like they're gonna ask you to be their girlfriend, right? So I'm not gonna say anybody's name because I don't want to do that. So I'm just not gonna say anyone's names, but they were like, the guy, he's gonna ask you out. And I was like, oh, like, okay. It just happened so quickly, and like we only talked, like, I think that was our she said that, he was like, oh, okay, and he just like backed off. So he left, and I was like, and she just basically like didn't even like ask me if I wanted to talk to him. So I was like, wow, okay, well I guess that's over. So anyways, now this is on to the next day. So this is the next day, right, at school. So I saw him like walking in the hallway in the morning. So I I basically walked up to him, and I was like, oh, I said his name, and I was like, so what were you saying yesterday? What were you gonna ask me? Like, I literally knew he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend, but I acted like I was clueless, and I was like, what were you gonna say? Anyways, it was so embarrassing. But he was like, oh, I was just gonna ask you, like, I was just wondering if you wanted to like be my girlfriend, like. And I was like, oh, sure. I literally said sure. Like, I was like, yeah, sure. And he was like, oh, like, you know, like he was just like excited or whatever. So yeah, and we were just like walking in the hallways. So that's basically how that happened. And it like, word got around pretty fast, because like I said, he was like one of like the well-known kids. So like everybody found, like, not everybody, but like a lot of people found out in a very short amount of time. So people were like, oh my god, like you guys are together, you guys are dating and all this stuff. And it was just like, yeah. So anyways, fast forward a little bit. So everything was going pretty well. We had a few classes together, but he would always walk me to all of my classes, even if he wasn't in the same class as me. Yeah, so he would always walk me to my classes, and yeah, we would sit together at lunch and everything like that. So he actually had like a friend group that he would always be around, but since we were like together, he would just like sit with me and stuff. So he usually would sit like with his friend group, but he like would most of the time just sit with me after that. So anyways, so basically fast forward, everything's going well, we're having a good time and stuff. He actually bought me like Christmas gift and all that stuff when Christmas came around, and it was so nice, and I was like so happy. I got him stuff, and yeah, everything was going well. So now we're gonna keep fast forwarding. So now it comes to like, so basically we started dating towards like the beginning of the school year, like not the very beginning, but like not long in the school year, probably like 1 month in. So it ended close to the end of the year, so it was like maybe 3 months before school, like before summer. So it actually lasted pretty long, in my opinion, for a middle school relationship. It was like 7 months, so that's pretty long, in my opinion. So anyways, so everything was going well, but one day he started acting a little bit weird, and I was like confused because we were on good terms. Like there was nothing like really going on like wrong between us. So I was like kind of confused on why he was acting weird. There's one detail that I forgot to tell you guys about. Okay, wait. So he was the type of guy that was like super flirty. Like he's just a really flirty person. Like he would like make certain comments to like girls and stuff, or just like certain stuff that he did was like really flirtatious, right? And he was just like, okay, he had a lot of female friends. Let's just say that. And I didn't really think anything of it at first, because like he was friends with everybody, but he had more friends, more like female friends, right, than male friends, right? Anyways, so basically one thing that like I started to realize that after a while, and I was like, I was kind of feeling like a little bit iffy about that, but then I was like, it's probably not that big of a deal, like he hasn't done anything, so I'm not gonna act, weird. later that day, because like we had each other's like social media and stuff like that, and like each other's numbers. So I told him and I texted him. I was like, I don't know, I just feel like that's a little bit weird. Like, you're a little bit too like friendly with girls, and I'm like, it's okay to be friendly, but like you're too friendly. And I was like, I don't know if I like that. And he basically just kind of like shrugged it off because, you know, he was like a young boy, so he's like, whatever, okay, sorry, whatever. So that happened, and he never did that again, but he did do other stuff that was like still a red flag. But anyways, so back to when we were about to break up. So basically he was acting weird, and I was like suspecting that he was acting weird, and I was like kind of like asking him like, what's going on, like I don't know, like do you not want to be together anymore, like I don't know, like are we gonna break up? And he was just like not really, like he wasn't fully answering me, like he wasn't giving me like a reason for anything. He was just kind of being weird. So he was like trying to call me, and I ignored his call. So yeah, I basically didn't answer him, and then he called me. So okay, one of our friends, I'm gonna explain after, but anyways, one of our friends, basically he called from his phone. So I guess they were like, I don't know, I guess they were at the same house or whatever, like I don't know, I guess they were hanging out after school. But he called me from his phone, and so I finally answered, and then it was him on the phone, and he was like, I just have to tell you something. And I was like, what? And he was like, I don't know, I think we should break up. And I was like, I was confused because I was like, what happened? Like, why are we breaking up? But he was like, yeah, I don't know, I just think we should break up and all this. So I was like, okay, well, I was sad, but I didn't want to tell him that. So I was like, okay, well, I guess if you're gonna break up with me, like I can't stop you. So I was like, okay. So he hung up or whatever, and that was just like the end of that. So the next few days of school were so like embarrassing, like not embarrassing, but like everyone, okay, a lot of people knew about our relationship, so a lot of people knew we broke up. So I was like sad, and it was like awkward as well because I saw him in the hallways all the time, and we had classes together, so it was like weird, but whatever. So he also, which was really weird, so basically he ended up in a relationship, I think like a day later, like that day or the next day. No, yeah, the day I went back to school, I think he had a girlfriend that day or the next day. And I was like, wow, so that's why you left me, because you wanted to get with somebody else. Like you could have just said that, but okay. Anyways, so he was with this girl, and yeah, so I think she was actually one of the new girls, like I think she was new to the school or whatever. But anyways, yeah, so they ended up together, and which something that was really weird is he felt the need to like update me on stuff for no reason. Like I don't know why he was updating me, but he literally told me, he was like, I'm actually gonna sit with her today, like I'm gonna go sit with her for lunch. And I was like, okay, like I would expect you to, that's your girlfriend, right? Like why would I think you're gonna sit with me now after you already broke up with me? But whatever. So he updated me, and then I was like, okay. So he was with her and stuff. So fast forward like a week later, literally it lasted a week, 1 week, and he was like, he broke up with her. And I was like, bro, what? Like he basically updated me again, because he always felt the need to update me. Like I never asked, but he was like, yeah, we broke up. And he was basically saying the reason is because she wasn't taking it serious or whatever, or she didn't really like, he didn't really feel like she actually liked him or cared about him. So he was like, yeah, I broke up with he didn't, like, he waited a little bit and he never actually, okay, wait, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Anyways, yeah, they just kept telling me that, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. So I just kept going about my day. So by the time they told me that, so basically, okay, so this is during lunch this is during one of the lunch periods, one day, right? So basically, someone comes up to me, and so we're actually friends. So this is gonna sound so bad, guys, but just like a disclaimer, I was a child, okay? I was not smart, and I was like, just, I would never do something like this now, okay? But just know I was a child. Okay, so, oh, also I forgot to tell you guys some parts of the story. I was like 11 because I have like a January birthday, so like I turned 12 in the middle of the year. So like it's kind of was like 11, 12, and 13 because like then I turned 13. Like the other half of the story that I'm about to tell you, I was like 13 and whatever. That's besides the point. So anyways, so next this person comes up to me and he was like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And I was not expecting him to ask me that because it was like really random out of nowhere. But basically the guy was his friend. So it was the guy that he basically, okay, so the guy that he called, like when I said he called me from another guy's phone, the guy that he was over his house, that was the guy that asked me out. And I know that sounds like, what? Like, oh my god, right? What kind of friend? I don't know. Anyways, so the craziest thing about that is I said yes. And I know you guys are probably gonna judge me like, girl, not his friend. Yes, I did. And I felt bad about it, but at the same time I was like, well, you left me for another girl with no explanation as to why. So I didn't really feel that bad at the time. I felt more guilty afterwards, but whatever. So it was his friend. So he asked me and I was like, well, sure. So I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay, cool. But he actually asked me out literally in the middle of lunch, so everybody at the table heard him. So it was like, it was kind of awkward, but I said yes. So I mean, I guess it worked out. But anyways, so me and him were actually like, we got along pretty good in the beginning, but stuff went downhill after a while because he had like really bad mood swings. Like it was so annoying. Like he was like one of those people where he would be in like in a good mood at one point, and then the next like couple hours he would just like not want to talk anymore. And it was really weird because like nothing had to happen, like we didn't get into arguments or anything. He would just be randomly like not in the mood anymore. So I was like, that started to annoy me, and I was like, are you okay? Like, are you good? Because like why are you always mad? Like, why do you have mood swings so much? Anyways, so that did not last very long for that reason. But we were in a lot of classes together as well, and yeah, we were basically like, he was in the friend group with the guy that I was with, and so obviously like sometimes when we would like for lunch we would sit all together like with the friend group. So it was like a little bit awkward because it was like, wow, now you're with that friend, but nobody ever judged me, no one ever said anything, but it was like, wow. Anyways, yeah, anyways, so fast forward a little bit, this one did not last nearly as long as the last relationship. I broke up with them because I was like, you're annoying me, like you keep getting mad for no reason, acting weird, so bye bye. So I broke up with him, and we were still friends. He was like bitter, of course, but we were still like friends for the most part. And like fast forward a little bit after, he basically asked me like, can you give me a second chance? Basically like, I want to be with you, like can we get back together? So I don't know why I said yes. I was stupid, but I was like, I didn't really of still liked him a little bit, even though he was annoying. I was like, well, he's still cute, and like, I don't know. I was just stupid back then, but anyways, I was like, sure, let's get back together, I guess. Anyway, so we got back together, and like, not that long after, probably like a week or so later, I think he was just like getting with me so he can break up with me, like basically get back at me, because he literally broke up with me for no reason. And I was like, what? Like, you literally just asked me to be your girlfriend again so you can break up with me. Like, he was so petty. Like, he was so petty. I was like, all right, well, whatever. So then after that, I kind of stopped liking him. Like, I didn't even want to be his friend anymore because I thought he was like stupid. So after that, we just like went our separate ways or whatever. I forgot to tell you guys, that was the whole point for me to be saying all of this. When the other guy was trying to ask me out again to be his girlfriend again for the second time, for my first boyfriend, I was already like in a relationship, so I was already with his friend. So I was like, well, you're kind of too late. But he found out and he was like, wow, like, I don't know, it's just kind of like, it's kind of uncomfortable for me. It kind of makes me feel weird that you're with my friend, or it kind of makes me feel sad. And I was like, or not sad, but just like makes me feel some type of way. And I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, but like, you can't really guilt trip me right now. Like, you can't make me feel bad, and you literally left me for no reason. Like, I don't really want to hear nothing you have to say. And also, like, you shouldn't be coming at me. Why didn't you tell your friend? Like, you didn't even question the fact that your best friend or close friend decided to ask me to be his girlfriend. Like, you didn't even get mad at him. Like, that's your friend. You should be like, why did you ask my ex out? Like, what? Like, how are you just gonna be mad at me? But whatever, I did not care. I was like, well, boo-hoo, sorry. Anyways, so yeah, so basically now we're gonna fast forward to the next year. So this is seventh grade. So the next year comes around, and for like, I don't know, I think it was like a few months in the year, I didn't have a boyfriend or anyone like that. I didn't really like anybody, to be honest. But basically there was a new kid. A new kid came to the school. And yeah, he was like, okay, so he was like a really nice guy. He pretty much got along with like everybody. And you know how most people are like curious about the new kid, so everyone tries to like be friends with them. So people were like talking to him and everything, and he was like nice, and like, he just like, he was a nice guy, so he basically talked to everybody and got along with everyone. So he was basically my friends, like some of my friends, he was actually friends with them as well. So we ended up being friends as well, by default, because he was friends with my friends. So it was like, yeah. So we ended up like being friends, and we were really close. And yeah, we were just like cool or whatever. And I thought he was like funny and stuff. So yeah. But then a little bit of time goes on, and he tells me like, I like you. And he was like, do you want to go out with me? Like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And I was like, no. At the time, I was like confused, because like, I wasn't confused. I was like, I didn't really know how to feel, because I wasn't really sure if I liked him, because we were friends, and I kind of just felt like we were friends. I was like, why do you want to be with me? And I just didn't know if I liked him like that. But eventually I was like, okay, well, I don't know, maybe I do like him. I don't know, let's give it a try. So I gave it a try, and I said yes. Of course, guys, like, it looks so bad because it looks like I just say yes to everyone, but in middle school I did say yes to everybody, because like, I didn't have like relationship experience. So I was like, I mean, they asked me out, so why not? It was just stupid, but obviously those are not my ways anymore, okay? So just, anyways, so we got together, right? And he was actually a really cool guy. Like, he was just nice. Like, my school was, it was close to my house, so it was like walking distance. So he would walk me home from school, and it was so sweet. But he actually lived close to the school, obviously, because like, yeah, he lived like 5 minutes away from me, like probably less than 5 minutes. It was like really close. But yeah, so he would walk me home every day, and yeah, so even like my mom and stuff and my sister were like recognizing, they're like, oh, who's this guy like walking you home every day, like that was sweet or whatever. So yeah, and he got along with like my sister and stuff, like he would make like jokes with her and everything. So I was like, okay, like he's getting in good with the family, like he must be the one. But anyways, so yeah, okay, so this relationship lasted pretty long, because it was like the middle of the year to, wait, kind of like the beginning slash middle. It was like probably like a couple months in, and then it lasted through summer as well, which that never happened before. So it was the first relationship that lasted all the way until summer, like the end of summer, not even the beginning, like the end of summer. So anyways, yeah, so basically everything was going well, and so yeah, all like my friends and stuff, like they liked him and everything, like they thought he was like nice. And basically, one day, it was one day in summer, and one of my friends from school, like we weren't super close, we weren't like best friends or anything, but we were still close enough. Like I knew her, I think, like from previous years, like I think I went to elementary with her. So yeah, like we knew each other. Anyways, so she basically texted me and she was like, your boyfriend is being weird, like, and I was like, what do you mean by that? And she was like, he's being weird, like he's flirting with me. And at first I was kind of like on guard, because I'm like, why would you just randomly come out of nowhere and say that? But then I was like, well, she never starts drama. Like this girl was never a drama, like she wasn't like a problematic person at all, and she was always nice to me and stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, I believe her. So she basically told me like what happened, and she was like telling me that he was like texting her and like flirting with her and saying certain stuff, and she like, I think she sent me proof of like what he was saying, and I was like, oh really? Like I was shocked, honestly, because he never did anything like that, at least not that I ever found out. Like maybe he was doing stuff behind my back, but he never, I never caught him until now, I guess. But she was like, yeah, like I just wanted to tell you, like, because I want to be a good friend. And she told me, so I was like, wow. So I texted him and I was like, so what's going on? Like the girl, like I'm not gonna say her name, but I was like, she told me that you were flirting with her and texting her and saying certain stuff. So I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's your explanation behind this? And he was being very like vague, like he wasn't really like caring to like explain anything or like give me an answer. He kind of was just like nonchalant, like he was just brushing it off, like or he was basically being like, I don't really know what, like, I don't know, he was basically just like brushing it off. So I was like, okay, well, I sent him like a really long paragraph, and I was like, if you're gonna do stuff like that, we can't be together, because that's like not okay. Like I don't think that that's okay. And he was like, okay. And I was like, wow. So after that long paragraph, so fast forward now to my last year of middle school. So this year was actually the year that I didn't have any relationships. Like, I didn't get with anybody. I was single the whole year for the first time. So yeah, I was single, but I did end up still kind of having feelings for my first boyfriend, the guy that I was with. Yeah, the first guy I was ever with. So I ended up still having feelings for him, and I never told him that because I felt like he was just like playing games. Like, he wasn't a serious person. Like, he had multiple relationships after me and before me. Like, he had a lot of relationships. So I was just like, well, he's